Aaron Mara stood at the edge of the grand arrival hall, heart beating with steady excitement. He wore a simple dark suit from Earth, its fabric chosen for respect and calm. The hall stretched before him like a living jewel, its walls gleaming. With shifting patterns of light, soft violet lamps hovered in midair, bathing the marble floor in gentle glow. Aaron held a small crystal sphere in his hands, gift from Earth scholars. It's meant to show friendship and wonder. As he took his first steps forward, delicate music drifted through the air. It rose and fell like a quiet wave, composed of sounds that felt both alien and strangely comforting. Court attendants moved silently around him, their robes flowing like liquid midnight. They guided him toward a dais at the far end of the hall, where the alien Queen Jira would meet him. Aaron's throat felt dry, but he reminded himself to breathe in slowly. He was here not as a conqueror, but as a messenger of hope. Earth had sent him to open a new chapter of peace, and he carried that purpose in every careful step. He recalled the months of planning, the careful study of Queen Jira's customs, and the warm encouragement of his home planet. Now, the moment had come. To bridge two worlds, a hush fell as Aaron reached the dais. There, on a throne carved from a single piece of opalescent stone, sat Queen Jira. She wore a gown of silver scales that shimmered like water under sunlight. Her skin was pale lavender, her eyes deep pools of calm intelligence. He regarded Aaron with curiosity, her expression unreadable yet not unkind. Aaron bowed low, holding the crystal sphere out before him. The sphere glowed with a soft blue light, pulsating gently in his palm. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice clear and steady, "I bring greetings from Earth. May this gift show our respect and desire for friendship." Queen Jira leaned forward. Slightly. A soft hum reverberated through the throne as the crystal pulsed in response. She raised a delicate hand and touched the sphere. It shone brighter for a moment, then settled back to its steady glow. The Queen's eyes softened, and she nodded once. "Aaron Mara of Earth," she spoke, her voice like distant wind through crystal. "You honor us with your presence. We welcome your friendship." A wave of relief warmed Aaron's chest. He rose to full height and allowed himself a small smile. Around him, the attendants stirred, and discreet musicians began a new melody, one that felt joyful and full of promise. Aaron stepped down from the dais, guided by a gentle attendant whose white robes echoed the soft glow of the lamps. He moved into the hall's center, where a long table had been set. On it lay trays of exotic fruits and translucent drinks that sparkled like starlight. Aaron tasted one of the fruits, a sweet sphere that burst with cool, juicy flavor. He closed his eyes in appreciation. Across the table stood Princess Ilara. She was tall and graceful, her skin a lighter shade of lavender than her mother's. Her hair flowed in waves of silvery blue. Her eyes held warm curiosity. She inclined her head in greeting, and Aaron felt a kind welcome in her gesture. He offered her a small earth lantern, its frame of polished wood and paper panels etched with Earth's great mountains. "For you, Princess," Aaron said. "A symbol of light and hope from my home." Lara gingerly accepted the lantern. Its soft glow illuminated her gentle smile. She whispered a word in her own language, and the lantern's light shifted to match the violet of her skin. Aaron watched in wonder as a single human gift bridged the gap between two very different lives. As the evening's soft music played and the fruits disappeared from the table, Adin felt a quiet thrill of joy. He had taken the first step toward friendship with an alien queen and her daughter. In this shining hall, under gentle lights and curious eyes, something new had begun, a bond of respect and wonder, born from simple kindness and genuine hope. Aaron Mara followed Princess Ilara through a wide corridor of softly glowing panels. The walls pulsed with gentle colors that shifted from pale green to sky blue. Each step echoed quietly on the smooth floor. Aaron felt calm and full of wonder. He kept his eyes on Ilara's graceful form, careful not to stumble in his own excitement. They entered a vast garden filled with strange plants and soft pools of water. The air smelled of sweet flowers he had never seen before. Some blooms looked like tiny lanterns floating above the ground, Others spun in slow circles, releasing sparkles of light. Aaron breathed deeply. He had seen many gardens on Earth, but none as magical as this one. Alara pointed toward a flower with petals like thin glass. "This is the river rose," she said. Her voice sounded like a clear bell. It sings when the wind moves it. She held a small device that looked like a feather. She touched it to the flower's stem. Soft tone rang out, as if the plant were humming. Aaron smiled in surprise. He gently stroked the petals. They felt cool and smooth. As they walked, Aaron told Alara about Earth's forests. He spoke of tall trees that held nests of singing birds. He described how people on his planet gathered beneath the canopy to share stories and songs. Alara listened with bright eyes. When he paused, she nodded and said, "On my world, we also share songs under the moonlight. Our voices blend with the night." Aaron imagined two worlds united by simple music and shared joy. A gentle breeze carried soft laughter from a nearby path. Aaron and Alara followed the sound and found a group of young aliens playing a game. They tossed glowing spheres back and forth like children on Earth playing catch. The spheres glowed violet and green as they flew. One of the players waved to Alara, and she smiled back. Aaron watched the spheres' flight, their glow lighting up happy faces. He felt warmth in his chest at the sight of simple play. Alara offered. "Aaron, a glowing sphere. Try," she encouraged. Aaron held it in his palm. It felt weightless, as if it would float away at any moment. He tossed it gently, and it sailed in a graceful arc before another player caught it. The crowd cheered softly. Aaron laughed. The sound felt bright in the quiet garden. He tossed the sphere again, more confidently this time. After the game, they walked along a path of smooth stones that led to a small pavilion. Inside, a clear pool reflected the twin moons above. Alara pointed upward. "We have 2 moons," she explained. "They drift across our sky and change color with the seasons." Aaron knelt by the pool's edge and touched the water. It rippled lightly, reflecting a pale lavender glow. He saw Ilara's face in the water, curious and kind. He felt a bond growing stronger with each shared moment. Alara reached into the pool and brought out a small shell that shimmered like pearl. "For you," she said. "A gift from our waters." Aaron accepted it with both hands. The shell's surface was warm and seemed to hum with soft energy. He lifted it close to his ear and heard a tranquil melody like waves on a distant shore. He smiled at Alara. "Thank you," he said simply. Alara's eyes glowed with gentle light. "Thank you for your friendship," she replied. Aaron stood and faced her. He thought of the crystal sphere he had given her mother and the lantern he had shared earlier. In this quiet pavilion, he understood that friendship needed no words, only shared moments and open hearts. They rose and walked back toward the palace halls, leaving the garden's soft glow behind. Aaron felt hopeful and joyful. He knew that this day would be remembered on both worlds. In simple acts of kindness, sharing music, laughter, and gifts, a new bond had been born. And with each step, he saw not an alien princess, but a new friend standing beside him under the alien sky. Aaron Mara walked beside Princess Alara into the vast knowledge hall. Soft light poured from crystalline pillars that rose to the high domed ceiling. Holographic scrolls floated in the air, each showing scenes from across Alara's world. Aaron felt as if he were stepping into a living story. He paused to trace his finger through a shimmering map of sapphire seas and jade forests. Alara smiled and held out a small drone shaped like a silver butterfly. "This brings our history to life," she explained. The drone spun gently, projecting images of great trees that sang in moonlight and ancient gatherings of her people. Aaron watched in wonder as the trees' branches swayed and their soft voices echoed. He thought of Earth's old songs and wished his friends could hear these alien melodies. They moved to a row of glowing tablets. Alara tapped one with slender fingers, and words in her language appeared as bright symbols. With another tap, those symbols shifted to basic Earth letters. Aaron read the translation. "When stars align, hearts may mend." He looked at Alara and saw warmth in her eyes. He tapped a tablet and wrote a short message from Earth. Friendship crosses any distance. The tablet glowed and then faded, leaving the words hanging in the air like a promise. Ilara's laugh was soft and musical. She guided Aaron to a circular bench surrounded by floating lanterns. Each lantern showed a memory, a child's first flight. On gliding wings, a festival where everyone danced under purple rain. A quiet moment when two lovers pled their hopes beneath twin moons. Aaron felt the easy peace of these shared memories. He reached out to touch one lantern, and it drifted closer, revealing a scene of Earth's first moon landing. He described the scene to El Arajo. People on his world watched in awe as metal legs touched gray dust. Ilara listened, her head tilted with wonder. Nearby, gentle attendant offered refreshments, sweet crystals that melted like soft honey on the tongue, a cool drink tasting of moonberries in starlight. Aaron accepted a crystal piece and shared it with Ilara. She tasted it and closed her eyes in delight. "That's such sweetness," she whispered. Aaron nodded. "On Earth, we share sweets to show care." Ilara's smile grew, and she held his hand for a moment. Afterward, they stepped into a circular courtyard. In its center stood a polished sphere that reflected both of them. Ilara pointed to her reflection and then to Aaron's. "Two worlds," she said. "One hope." Aaron placed his hand on the sphere, and it glowed gently, casting soft light on their faces. He spoke quietly. "I hope our people learn from us." Ilara nodded and lifted her hand to rest beside his. As the sun began to set beyond stained glass windows, Aaron and Ilara walked back toward the palace halls. He felt a deep gratitude for this day, another step in a growing bond. He thought of the crystal sphere on the dais, the lanterns in the gardens, and now these living memories in the knowledge hall. In every place, simple kindness had built something beautiful. And in that moment, under the gentle glow of twin moons, captured in the hall's art, Aaron understood that true friendship was a story both worlds could share. Aaron Mara strolled through a quiet wing of the palace with Princess Ilara by his side. Soft light from recessed panels traced the curve of the walls, and the air felt cool and gentle. The corridor led to a room filled with instruments that looked like both art and science. Strange devices hummed with quiet power. What? And floating orbs glowed in soft pastel colors. Ilara paused beside a long table where tools and gadgets rested. "These are our instruments of discovery," she explained. She picked up a slender rod tipped with a crystal lens. "This helps us see faraway stars more clearly." Aaron leaned forward and peered through the lens. Across the room, a hologram of distant galaxies shimmered into view. Aaron's eyes widened. He saw spirals of light and glowing clouds of dust drifting between shining stars. "This is beautiful," he said softly. "On Earth, we use telescopes to study space, but they do not bring the stars so close." Ilara smiled. "Our science and art blend together," she said. She tapped a control panel and the hologram shifted. Now bright comets arced across the scene, trailing streams of sparkling ice. Aaron watched, feeling a warm thrill at the sight of cosmic movement. Next, Ilara led him to a circular bench surrounded by floating screens. Each screen showed a different aspect of life on her world. Gentle creatures that roamed the forests, waves of energy pulsing through crystal formations, and delicate ships that sailed clouds of gas above the planet's core. Aaron reached out to touch one screen. The image of a cloud ship solidified, and he could feel a soft breeze, as if the ship were sailing overhead. "Would you like to try piloting a simulation?" Ilara offered. She pressed a button on a crystal console, and a seat rose from the floor. Aaron sat and wrapped his hands around two glowing controls. Hush. The room darkened, replaced by a starry sky and the underside of a great floating vessel. Aaron guided the ship through rings of mist and glowing currents. He felt the gentle pull of gravity as he steered. Ilara's voice came through a speaker, guiding him with calm instructions. "Ease left," she said, "and let the currents carry you." Aaron obeyed, and the ship drifted through a tunnel of light like a summer breeze. He laughed quietly at the sensation of flying in a virtual sky. When the simulation ended, Aaron rose from the seat feeling exhilarated. He turned to Ilara with a grateful smile. I never imagined I would sail the clouds of another world, he said. Ilara's eyes shone with gentle pride. I wanted you to see our vision, she replied. To share how we explore and imagine. They moved on to another display, a set of blocks that glowed when lined up correctly. Ilara explained that children on her world learned patterns and harmony through these blocks. She picked one up and handed it to Aaron. Its surface felt warm and smooth. He placed it beside another block, and both glowed softly. The other blocks rotated and aligned themselves into a lattice of light. Aaron marveled at how the simple shapes created a complex, beautiful pattern. As they finished, Ilara guided him to a window overlooking a silent courtyard. In its center, a tranquil fountain bubbled with crystal-clear water. The water caught the light from the palace and sent dancing reflections onto the marble floor. Lara sat on the window ledge and patted the spot beside her. Aaron joined her and gazed at the fountain. Thank you for sharing this with me, Aaron said quietly. Your world is full of wonder and gentle beauty. Lara looked at him and placed her hand on his. And your world is full of kindness, she replied. You came with an open heart. Aaron felt a soft warmth spread through him. He realized that friendship was more than shared gifts or stories. It was trust and openness. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the water play in the courtyard. Outside, the first stars appeared in Ilara's sky. Aaron thought of Earth's night sky and how people on both worlds looked up with the same hope. In that gentle moment, he felt the distance. Between planets disappear, two friends, different yet united, sat together beneath the same cosmos, bound by curiosity and care. Aaron Mara woke early, the pale light of twin moons filtering through his window. He dressed carefully and joined Princess Ilara in the palace courtyard. Night was the festival of glowing petals, a celebration of hope and renewal. The air smelled of sweet nectar, and lanterns hung from trees. Waiting to be lit, Ilara wore a simple gown of soft blue silk that shimmered like water. She carried a basket of white petals that glowed faintly in the moonlight. Aaron took a matching basket from her hand. Thank you, he said. Ilara smiled. Together, she whispered, they walked among clusters of palace guests. Aliens of many shapes and colors greeted them with calm nods. Aaron bowed politely, and Ilara shook hands, her touch gentle and kind. The guests wore light garments that glowed under the moon, creating waves of color across the courtyard. At the center stood a tall statue of ancient ancestors, its features carved in smooth stone. Around its base lay hundreds of glowing petals. An attendant stepped forward and invited Aaron and Ilara to place their petals. They knelt together and scattered the petals in a circle around the statue. The petals floated down like snow, each one leaving a soft sparkle on the ground. As the last petal fell, music began. Soft drums and high chimes joined a gentle chorus. Aaron recognized a shared rhythm, like the beat of a quiet heart. Across cultures and worlds, music spoke of unity. Took Aaron's hand and led him to a clear space before the statue. A guide appeared with two glowing garments like robes woven from petal threads. Aaron and Ilara slipped into the robes. The fabric felt warm and alive against their skin. The guide bowed and stepped away, leaving the pair to the festival's dance. The music built in gentle waves, and Aaron followed Ilara's lead. She moved with calm grace, her steps soft and measured. He matched her pace, guided by her calm confidence. Under the moonlight, their robes glowed like living blossoms. Around them, dancers spun in circles, their lights weaving patterns of gold and lavender. Aaron felt joy bloom in his chest. He watched Ilara's face glow with happiness. When the melody shifted, Ilara tapped his shoulder, and they changed direction, moving in harmony with the crowd. Each turn brought new patterns of lantern light. Aaron and Ilara laughed softly as they twirled, their laughter blending with the music. After several dances, the music softened. Ilara led Aaron to a small stage near a gentle fountain. Nearby, artists shaped petals into glowing sculptures. One sculpture looked like a soaring bird. Another resembled a tree with shining stars among its branches. Ilara pointed to a sculpture of two hands joined. This shows two peoples linked in friendship, she said. Aaron nodded. It fits today, he replied. Ilara picked up a glowing petal and pressed it gently to the sculpture's base. The sculpture's light brightened, casting patterns of hands across the courtyard. Aaron did the same. As their petals touched the stone, two small lights rose from the sculpture and floated toward the sky. Like fireflies drifting home, the crowd watched in quiet wonder as the lights climbed higher. Aaron felt a soft thrill seeing their gift rise. Above the walls, Ilara rested her head on his shoulder. "Look," she whispered, "a promise that we will meet again." Aaron squeezed her hand. "Always," he said. When the lights faded into the sky, the festival continued with small feasts of sweet fruits and gentle teas. Aaron tasted a moonberry and smiled at its soft, rich flavor. Ilara offered him a cup of starlight teats, warmth spreading calm in his chest. They sat on a low wall, watching families and friends share food and laughter. As the night ripened toward dawn, Aaron and Ilara stood together by the fountain. Their robes had dimmed, but their smiles shone brighter than any lantern. Aaron spoke. "Quietly, thank you for this gift of joy." Ilara looked up at the first light of the suns beyond the palace. "Our friendship is the greatest gift," she said. Aaron felt hope like a gentle flame in his heart. In this festival of light and petals, two worlds had danced in harmony. And as the morning brightness rose, he knew their bond would guide both peoples toward a brighter future. Aaron Mara awoke to soft, bird-like songs echoing in the palace garden. He rose quietly, slipping past moonlit flowers to find Princess Ilara already waiting. She stood beside a clear pool where water lilies glowed like pale lamps. In her hand, she held a simple flute carved from ivory stone. Ilara greeted him with a gentle nod. "I want to share our music," she said. Aaron smiled, honored by her choice. He knelt beside the pool's edge as Ilara lifted the flute to her lips. A clear, tender melody spilled into the air, weaving through the garden's hush. The notes floated upward, tracing soft paths among the glowing blooms. Arin listened in wonder. He had heard many songs on earth, but this felt like sunlight made sound. When Ilara finished, he waited a moment, then offered his own instrument, a small drum shaped like a human hand. He tapped a steady rhythm, slow and kind. The drum beat matched Ilara's melody, weaving Earth's simple pulse into her song. As their music blended, firefly-like insects drifted closer. They lit the air with tiny sparks, dancing around the two friends. Ilara's eyes shone bright as she played, and Aaron felt warmth in his chest. In that shared music, he heard the promise of both worlds joined in harmony. When the song ended, Ilara placed the flute gently on a marble bench. She reached out and took Aaron's hand. "Thank you," she said softly. "Your rhythm gave life to my song." Aaron squeezed her hand. "Your song taught me beauty I never knew," he replied. They sat in silence, watching the water lilies drift on the pool. After a time, Ilara stood and guided Aaron down a winding path. They reached a grove of tall crystal trees whose branches chimed like bells with each breeze. Ilara explained that these trees recorded memories in their sound. When wind passed through, the trees echoed past celebrations, friendly meetings, and stories of hope. Aaron closed his eyes and listened. He heard laughter, soft words spoken long ago, and tales of unity between distant cities. In the gentle chimes, he recognized a human word whispered softly, "Peace." He opened his eyes to see Ilara smiling. "Our trees remember what matters most," she said. Aaron nodded, moved by the living history in the wind. They continued to a low stone bench beneath the tallest tree. Ilara brought from her pocket small book bound in blue leather. "This holds our simple stories," she explained, opening to the first page. The words were in her language, but beside each line glowed a translation in earth letters. Aaron read aloud, "When friends stand together, no night is too dark." He paused, feeling the truth of the sentence. He looked at Ilara. "That is true," he said. "I will remember this always." Ilara closed the book and carried it with care. She stood and offered her arm. Aaron took it, and together they walked back through the crystal grove. As they stepped into the palace's warm light, Aaron felt a deep peace. He thought of the music, the trees, and the shared words in that book. In every moment, simple acts had woven two hearts together. And in this gentle friendship, he saw hope shining across the stars, bright enough to guide both worlds toward a future made by kindness and shared wonder. Aaron Mara stood before the grand dais in the palace's central hall. Queen Jira sat upon her opalescent throne, her lavender skin glowing softly under the gentle lights. Princess Alara stood at the queen's side, her silvery blue hair flowing. Like a moonlit river, Aaron felt his heart swell with pride and hope. Today he would speak for Earth and ask for a lasting friendship between their worlds. He took a slow, steady breath and stepped forward. He carried nothing but his open hands and true words. "Your Majesty," he began, his voice clear and calm, "I have walked your gardens, shared your songs, and learned of your wonders. I have seen kindness in your people's hearts. It is my deepest hope that our two worlds may stand together, sharing light and learning for all time." Queen Jira regarded him with quiet grace. The hall was silent, as if waiting for her answer. Then she spoke, her voice resonant like crystal chimes. "Aaron Mara of Earth, you have shown respect and sincerity in every step you have taken. You have honored our customs and celebrated our gifts. For this I thank you." She paused, her deep eyes meeting his. "We accept your offer of friendship." A soft cheer rippled through the hall as attendants bowed and guests smiled. Alara stepped forward and placed a small wreath of glowing flowers upon Aaron's head. Each blossom shone with gentle light, weaving around his hair like a crown of hope. Aaron knelt before Alara and offered her a simple woven bracelet from earth-woven threads of blue and green. Symbolizing sea and land. Elara received it with a bright smile and tied it around her wrist. "With this gift," she said, her voice filled with warmth, "we bind our friendship across all distance." Aaron rose and felt a soft glow of happiness in his chest. Around him the guests lifted their own wreaths and bracelets, sharing gifts of light and color. The hall filled with quiet music harps that sounded like wind through tall grasses on earth. After the ceremony, Aaron and Alara walked together to a balcony overlooking the palace gardens. Below, fountains sparkled under twin moons and lanterns, swayed gently in the breeze. Flowers glowed in every hue, creating pathways of soft color. Alara leaned on the balcony rail and looked out at the scene. Aaron stood beside her, feeling the gentle night air on his face. "Thank you for your courage," Alara said softly. "You came from so far to share our world, and you brought light to our hearts." Aaron placed a hand on the rail and gazed down at the flowers. "And thank you," he replied. "You welcomed me as a friend, showing me the beauty of your people. I will carry that beauty back to Earth, so our worlds may learn from each other." They stood side by side, silent for a moment, watching the glowing petals drift in the breeze. In that stillness, Aaron felt the promise of a new dawn for both planets. No walls of fear could hold back curiosity and kindness. Across the stars, the peoples now shared a bond stronger than any distance. When the night celebrations continued inside, Aaron and Alara returned to the hall hand in hand. Together, they led a procession of Earth's delegates and the alien court, walking under arches of light. Each footstep marked a new beginning, a path built on respect, wonder, and shared hope. As they passed beneath the final arch, music swelled in quiet harmony. Earth's delegates carried the crystal spheres and lanterns Aaron had brought, and the aliens offered their glowing petals. The lights mingled overhead like stars dancing across the sky. In that moment, Aaron knew that the story they would tell, on Earth and beyond, was more than a tale of two worlds. It was a testament to humanity's faith and friendship, to the power of simple kindness, and to the hope that wherever we come from, we can choose to love what is beautiful and good in one another.